Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the asynchronous class, the recording video on the topics of approaches to the self, okay, under personality psychology. Okay, in this topic, we are going to discuss three subtopics which related on how we as a person, we as individuals interpret, think and evaluate our own self. Okay, in this topic, we're going to discuss first and foremost the descriptive components of the self, which what we call as self-concepts. Okay, descriptive components. How do we describe? How do we regard about ourselves? And then after that, we're going to discuss about the evaluative component. Okay, remember the first part is the descriptive component. The second part, we're going to discuss about the evaluative components of the self, which specifically we are going to talk about self-esteem. And the last part, we are going to discuss about the social components of the self, which we call as social identity. Okay, so remember, in this topic under the self, we are going to discuss about descriptive component of the self, evaluative components of the self, and social component of the self. Okay, in the first part, under the descriptive component of the self, which is the self-concepts, first and foremost, we are going to discuss on how we develop, okay, how we develop our own self-concepts, the development of the self-concept. And then we are going to look into more specific area of big part or main component of self-concept, which is self-schemata. Okay, under the self-schemata, we are going to look into possible self, odd self, and undesired self. Okay, and on the second part, which is under evaluative component of the self, which is self-esteem, we are going to discuss on how individuals evaluate their own self, which is evaluation of oneself. And then we look on the research on the self-esteem. And the last part, we look into social component of the self, social identity. We are going to look at the nature of identity, and then identity development and identity crisis.